You need to be in the line between panic and play. This is why you're really bad at sports and dancing. You don't know how to make your body obey. Your body speaks in a language of electrical signals. These control your movements, but they don't always obey or understand the commands that the brain sends them. When that happens, we might get frustrated and think that we don't have the intelligence necessary to be athletes or to move better and faster. If you feel like you're bad at moving, this video will help you understand how to move better and faster. In the summer of 2005, I had to face my biggest fear. It was a Saturday afternoon. My body was paralyzed, and I felt like everyone at the party was watching me. No matter how hard I tried to move, my body wouldn't respond. At 15, I was a good swimmer. At least, that's what I thought. I had control of my body in the water, but on the dance floor, my body disconnected from my brain. I had no idea how to dance. I told my body to at least bend the knees to a rhythm, but my body said, nope, I'm going to stay disconnected until we change activities. And that's when I discovered that my body doesn't always do what I ask it to do. My problem at 15 is the same as someone who wants to learn or improve something in a sport, but think they're bad because their body doesn't move in the desired speed or precision. Let's first address the mistakes that we all make when trying to learn a new or better movement. It's very frustrating when your body doesn't do what you ask it to do. Most of the time, especially the hands, do exactly what they are asked. We are used to having control of our movement. That's why it's so frustrating when the body does something different from what we want or at a slower speed than what we would like. A very obvious example is when we want to run or throw a ball and the body doesn't move as fast or as accurately as we want. We even try to find external reasons to explain our lack of coordination, strength, or rhythm. Science has made significant discoveries in the last decade about the connection between the brain and the body. At Skills and Talents, we specialize in improving the control of people's body in the water. We have experience helping hundreds of people around the world, from Thailand to Colombia, from ages 8 to 73. In all the cases we've had, we haven't found differences between ages or cultures. The body and the mind have the same communication system, no matter where you come from. The problem is when that system of communication, called the nervous system, fails or struggles to remember the connection. The nervous system is divided into two parts, sympathetic and parasympathetic. One puts you on alert and the other calms you down. The sympathetic increases blood pressure and heart rate. In other words, the heart sends more blood to the organs to fight or flight. It also dilates the pupils to have a more panoramic vision and have a quicker reaction to any danger. The parasympathetic is the opposite. It calms and relaxes the organs. We're always oscillating between these two systems. When we inhale, we activate the alert system, the sympathetic. Exhaling relaxes us. When I was on the dance floor at 15, I felt like I couldn't breathe because of my nerves. My sympathetic nervous system was at its peak. I was actually inhaling a lot, but I wasn't exhaling at the same pace. I felt like I was drowning with too much air in my lungs. When the sympathetic nervous system is more active, the primitive part of the brain is activated, the amygdala. You can't learn much when the amygdala is in charge. Movements will become instinctive. The body does what it wants. After the unfortunate afternoon when I danced like a robot without batteries, I went home disappointed. I practiced some of the dance moves in my room. Now I believe I was ready to the next party. My friends forced me to go back to the dance floor. The results? The same robot without batteries. For the body to be open to learning new movements, it needs to activate the parasympathetic system. The first step is to voluntarily accept the challenge. If someone is forcing you to learn a sport, it is likely that your body will disconnect from your brain. If you accept the challenge, you still have to prepare the body for what's coming. Accepting the challenge does not relax the body. It only prepares it to receive new information easily. That's good because we don't want a completely relaxed body. A completely relaxed body receives a lot of information but does not retain it. In our swimming camps, we usually have two types of children. Some that are completely focused and others that are completely in play mode. Play mode is a very relaxed mode. When we tell them how to move in the water, they do it perfectly, and the next day, they forget. When I practiced dancing in my room, no one was watching me, and I was relaxed, but I forgot the steps within a few hours. When the body is very relaxed, it doesn't notice it as something important. Forgetting is an important part of our healthy life. Your body forgets what it doesn't consider important for its survival, but it has no way of knowing what is important and what is not, so it is guided by the body's state of alert. If the body is alert, there is a greater chance of retaining information. So now that you have accepted the challenge, you need to be in the line between panic and play. If you want to increase your level of alert, remember why it is important for you to learn to move better. Also, think about what are the external and internal consequences if you do not succeed. If you want to relax a little bit more, focus on your exhalation. This will calm your body. If you want to know more about why these breathing methods work, I recommend this book. When you feel that your body is not in that perfect line, it's time to speak the language of the body. Without any kind of movement, the body has no life. The opposite is also true. The more movement we have that we can control, the more life we have within us. In general, the body learns to move itself when we're growing. It follows a very good learning trajectory until chairs and shoes arrive. This is tricky because the most important movements for our immediate survival are generally three things: the movement of our fingers, eyes, and mouth. We become experts in these three types of movements from the moment we entered school. And that's fine, because without these three movements, we couldn't read, write, or speak. They are the most important movements of our time. And that's why our body focuses on learning those and forgets what it doesn't use. The movements it forgets the fastest are the torso and the legs. WALL-E is not a distant future. It is an unfortunate reality for many in the present. The good news is that humans have two superpowers: adaptation and communication. We communicate ways to move better and faster. The connections are still there. They're just forgotten. To speak to a forgotten muscle, you must start with the basic words. Then you can include speed and strength. But first, you must start with the simple movements. You can learn more about the language of the movement by learning anatomy. We will continue to talk about this in the future. But first, I need to tell you something just as important. Your body has limits. I'm not telling you this to discourage you. On the contrary, I tell you this so you can explore those limits and know where they are. Then comes the exciting part of discovering that those limits are not permanent. Most are temporary, regardless of your age. If your body knows or think it knows that you are approaching your limit, its job is to protect you and stop you. For example, it can send you pain from an injury that existed but is no longer there. Or it can control the speed of a muscle because it knows that the opposing muscle does not have the strength to stop the movement. The strength of the muscles is the most explored. Here is where we can see the clearest limits. We have reached a point that it is no longer healthy to explore those limits. What we think is more important is to learn how to strengthen the joints. This opens more possibilities for flexibility and speed, but you'll find the most variability in coordination and balance. And you have to explore them according to your abilities and the unique characteristics of your body. Swimming, for example, requires strength, flexibility, and speed, but it is useless if you don't have balance or coordination in the water. And the path is very different for everybody. That is why we see so many different styles, even though the goal is the same. At the end, I'll tell you a little secret on how the comment section will work. But for now, I hope you take away this, a little motivation, knowing what mental state you need in order to learn new and faster movement, that you learn to speak movement, and that you need to accept the challenge in order to explore your limits. Okay, here's the little secret. I read all the comments of the first 24 hours after publishing a video. Tell me what's your biggest struggle when trying to make your body obey. It took 10 years of many dance tutorials on YouTube, many hours of dancing in my backyard and my room, many attempts and laps on the dance floor. And finally, it was my dance moves that convinced Mariana that I was the one. I am still learning to swim and dance better. What I'm learning from making these videos will culminate in a guide of about 40 minutes on how to swim better that we will put free on YouTube. If it's already available, click here. If it's not, here's another video. See you there. Swim fast.